All right, so this was actually pretty big news besides the whole gun debate. A transgender boy won the girls' state wrestling title for a second time.
Yeah, of course.
Let me repeat that headline a little slower this time.
Yeah.
A transgender boy won the girls' state wrestling title for a second time. So what we're talking about here, because it can get confusing.
Oh, I was totally confused until I kind of really read through the article.
Is this was a girl who now identifies as a boy and is going through the change, right? Wrestling girls.
Yeah.
Okay? Do you get that?
Yeah.
Are you still confused at all?
No,
You should be.
I'm crystal clear on what's going on.
If that's crystal clear, I would hate to see what murky is.
No. What's going on is a girl on steroids is wrestling girls.
Crazy, right?
That's what's happening.
Yes. So, Mac Beggs, an 18-year-old senior from Ulysses Trinity High School near Dallas, entered the tournament in Cyprus outside of Houston with an undefeated record. Isn't that coincidental? That's so crazy. This is a good wrestler.
Wow.
That's crazy. He beat Chelsea Sanchez, who he beat for the title in 2017 in the final match on Saturday. So Chelsea has been robbed twice in 2 years. Yeah. Here's a chick who is wrestling the proper way.
Yeah.
Should have won both years and was robbed because a man beat her.
I won't even say that.
We'll go
I'll say
on.
a mentally unfit girl on steroids beat her twice.
Beggs is in the process of transitioning from female to male and taking testosterone. It was his steroid therapy treatments while wrestling girls that stirred a fierce debate about competitive fairness and transgender rights last season. It's been a lot quieter since last year when his march to a state championship was dogged by a last-minute lawsuit that tried to stop him. Well, yes, of course. You know? So my question, and it was answered in this article, was if you're transitioning to a boy, wrestle the boys.
One thing I did read in the article, and I don't know if it comes up here later,
does.
is that he does want to wrestle boys. So it's
a
kind
state
of,
law that you can't.
It's the whole thing is just it's creating this tangled web of what the heck are we supposed to do in this upside down.
What do I do with my hands? I don't know. Well, you can't put them there. That's for sure. There's a reason why. So Beggs had asked to wrestle in the boys division, but the rules for Texas public high schools require athletes to compete under the gender on their birth certificate. Okay? So if we're going to go along with this, and obviously there's no going back. The genie's out of the bottle, right?
Yeah.
Some other things pop out of the bottle too sometimes, apparently, too. But if we're going off of this, if this is the norm now, then this person, the state law should change so that he could compete with the boys, okay?
Yeah.
Because they're decimating and hurting the girls, okay? And that's because he's taking testosterone,
Yeah.
okay? So he has so much respect for all the girls he wrestles, said Beggs' mother, Angela McNew.
Let's unpack that statement for a second.
Don't say unpack and he in the same sentence.
He has so much respect for all the girls he wrestles.
Yeah.
The girls he wrestles.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, it gets better.
Yeah.
People think Mac has been beating up on girls. Well, it's not thinking, it's knowing.
Yeah.
The girls he wrestles with, they're tough. It has more to do with skill and discipline than strength. No,
wrestling.
No, it has to do with strength.
Strength has a lot to do with.
Yeah, it's very
strength,
specific.
Yeah,
here.
Skill and discipline are in there, but strength is a big part of wrestling.
Oh my gosh. So, blame the state law, not the testosterone, right?
Yes, I don't know, but even if but the testosterone is still a performance-enhancing drug.
Yes.
So, okay, the state law requires her to stay he, whatever.
This is crystal clear, Mike.
Yeah.
You said it's crystal clear.
But, okay, if she's in there, then she also should be violating a rule of performance-enhancing drugs and be disqualified from competition altogether.
Yeah. And it's like they're saying, well, he has to compete, and this is the only way he can compete. Well, no. You, again, like the internet, you don't have a right to that.
Yeah. Like how you're still breaking a rule by taking human growth hormone, testosterone, steroids. This is opening the door for a boy wrestling boys saying, I identify as a boy with more testosterone than I have.
Yeah.
So I can take steroids.
Yeah.
And you can't ban me from it.
Yeah.
Because I don't identify as this level of testosterone.
You can also
boy.
identify as a chicken and try to wrestle around laying an egg and not breaking it. I mean, so the mother is obviously a little cuckoo herself. Beggs' road to the championship last season included 2 forfeits in the regional tournament by wrestlers who feared injury.
Yeah.
And Beggs faced only 1 forfeit this season. The opposing coach and teammates had insisted the girl wrestle Beggs, but she refused.
Yep.
Well, can you blame her? You know?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Like you said, it's so. Now the problem here, I think, again, besides the obvious, is the state law. You know, if you're allowing someone to go through this transition in the school years and taking growth hormones and everything, then it is completely unfair for them to be competing against girls. If you're transitioning to a man and taking testosterone, which is increasing and funking up your body mechanics, right?
But on the flip side, I like the state law because if it was a boy that was transitioning a girl, I wouldn't want him wrestling girls.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because this all comes down to the MMA fighter, Fallon Fox. Have you seen videos of this dude punching chicks in the head?
Yeah.
Like
he cracks their skulls, right?
It's clearly a man punching a chick. Like, he throws punches like a dude. He wrestles like a dude. Like, it's the totally different body structure, bone density. Like, you know, it's... So the law is protect.
I'll tell you what I do with my hands.
I broke a nail.
But here's
chipped my nail polish. You're gonna get it.
It's an elbow. But here's the problem with that. Yeah, there's that back and forth where a guy is competing in the girls and decimates them, or a guy identifies as a girl and comes down to the girls' league, and so either way is going to have its screw ups, right? Who gets screwed here? Always the women.
Oh yeah.
No matter what you do, the women are getting screwed.
Yep.
So where are the feminists? Where are the feminists?
It's not about being feminist now. It's about being all inclusive, accepting.
Not true.
Everything.
Feminists actually have a big problem with the transgender community, from what I hear. Okay.
I haven't heard that.
Wouldn't you know, too? This is not my opinion. I'm just throwing it out there. One of the volunteers I was hanging out with down at CPAC was a gay black dude. Okay. And he brought up transgenders.
A conservative gay black dude?
A conservative black dude.
Oh my God.
And I said, I don't see a unicorn horn.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, but he was talking about transgenders, and he said that a lot of people in his LGBT community believe that the T should be left off because it's a completely different thing.
Yep.
You know? Where LGB deals with sexual preference, then you're talking about gender, and it's a different thing. That's just what he said. He said it's a common topic within the community, and I just thought that was pretty interesting.
Makes sense.
But yeah, again, the feminists should be angry here because either way, the women are getting screwed. This Chelsea should have won 2 years in a row.
Yep.
She trained her butt off, was at the top of her game as a woman, and was beat because she competed against a man.
Yep.
You know?
Or at least let's see what this girl got. What her skill level is without testosterone.
Yeah, well, I would like to see him compete against the boys and just get decimated. Like throw it to the other end of the scale for him. You know?
And now the other thing too is if he was able to do that, you don't know you're the other boys that he would have to compete against now are in like a, would you want to wrestle against, I mean, you put your hand. Wrestling's a very contact sport. Grappling, you put your hand in the wrong place, and all of a sudden, she's a girl again. You molested her.
That's a good point.
All of a sudden,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It opens up to a whole different bag of
anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Something.
Cats and dogs living together.
Where do I put my hands? Sound like Seinfeld. What is the world coming to?
Oh man.